And the main impact of CO2 is increasing temperature, greenhouse gases effect.
Yeah, so the most certainty that scientists have that where they detect a change and they what's called in the technical term attribute it to human causes is a change in global average temperature. And global average surface temperatures have increased over the last century. And that's it's not the same in every single place around the world, but the strongest understandings are in temperature, but also in what's called ocean heat content. Most of the accumulating heat in the global system actually goes into the oceans. The oceans are a much bigger reservoir of heat than is the atmosphere. So they have these multiple different ways to measure how the energy balance of the Earth system is changing. And the strongest evidence, according to the IPCC, and I think this is right, is to be found in the oceans.
And we have also some examples, exactly studies that shows that after some, we have now about 420 ppm concentration of CO2. But I read a study that says after 300, there can be it's a saturation, and there is no big impact on temperature anymore. That depends. If it comes to 500 or 600, temperature will not rise because it came on the level of saturation. What do you think about this?
So if you take a look at what the IPCC says about this, it is absolutely true that every additional bit of carbon dioxide we put into the atmosphere has a less of effect on temperature than it did in the past. That said, the IPCC projects that if we continue to emit carbon dioxide, temperatures will continue to increase. So there's not a point where we say, all right, it's done. There's no more temperature increase to come. As long as we keep emitting carbon dioxide and it keeps adding up in the atmosphere, temperatures globally will continue to increase.
Yeah. And how much increased temperature from last ice age, little ice age? It's from 1850 until 1900.
Yeah, so the IPCC, you're exactly right. They use a baseline of 1850 to 1900, so the end of the 19th century. The best estimates right now, and they're conditioned on what's called current policies. So think of this as where we're heading based on the policies in place today, is that the world might see something like a 2.4 to 2.7 degree temperature increase from the end of the 19th century. From today, that's about a 1 degree, 1.2 degree temperature increase from where we're at today.
And there is an effect calling urban heating island. And this effect has some impact on the temperature. How much?
Absolutely. Anyone who's been in a city on a hot day and you're standing on a street with pavement and concrete knows that the urban environment heats up very quickly. It's much different than being in a forest or in a field. The urban heat island is another way that humans affect our local, what's called microclimates. And it is significant because if the overall temperature is warmer, and then you have these effects in large cities where the urban heat island increases temperatures, that makes temperatures even higher. So it is absolutely true that in urban areas, when temperatures are very high, it's not just or simply because of carbon dioxide emissions. It's also because of the built environment that we live in.
Mm-hmm. Okay, there is one more thing also, what everybody is discussing. It's about this graphicon named hockey stick. And this is something that somebody says it's totally wrong, but still IPCC using this as a measure. What is your opinion about this?
Yeah, so there's been debate over what's called the so-called hockey stick, which shows temperatures were relatively constant for thousands of years and then jumped up dramatically around the beginning of the last century. I don't know that debate is particularly relevant to how we think about climate policy and decarbonization today. We have a very good understanding that we do alter the energy system. So the reality of climate change doesn't really need the hockey stick today. I know there are very technical statistical debates that go on about that. But one of the things when I talk to policymakers, I explain that paleoclimate, the distant past, is very interesting scientifically. but it's probably not at the top of the list of things they should worry about as we think about energy policy going forward.